Well, g'day everybody. So I can see everyone scrambling, thinking, "What's going on? We're 15 minutes early, not even 9 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. It's completely screwed up." Well, I'm still in the office at the moment. We've just had L'Esprit Keep turn up, and the next one to come in is going to be Triana, who's completely rollicking down the coast in very little wind. So it's all a bit confusing. Anyway, the others have gone home to get some rest before we take off again and do things. I've been really busy, and we want to go home too before we get going. So this was the quick chance. I say 15 minutes. So you'll all be watching it mostly on replay. We couldn't get an update away this morning, so it's now 8:46 on the 15th of December here in Auckland, and plenty going on. We're actually in the office down here. In fact, I should. The office is a bit of a mess. I won't show you the office. Oh well, no, I won't. Will I? Won't you? No, I won't. I'll show you later when it's organised. Anyway, our banners turned up, so Marco's been out putting them up today. It'll be an ongoing process because there's more coming. Next week, we've got some of our merchandise here and bits and pieces. So in the next few days, we'll start to look like an event. And there's quite a few people coming down now at different times. So yeah, but I just wanted to get in and show you what's happening with Triana and a quick run through of the rest of the fleet as well. So we'll get straight into it. And if I press that again, I'm up there. Yep. So there it is. Now, if I go over here, hopefully you should be seeing me. There's Triana getting really close, but I'll show you that in a minute. We're on real-time weather, and I'm going to head back down here. You can see that Neptune's just stuck around Cape Reinga, followed quickly by Evrika, who's just coming up to Cape Reinga, and Outlaw is about to get T-boned by Galliana with Secure. You can see that they're having a connection there. And then after that, way down here is White Shadow sitting there doing not much at 1.3 knots. So they'd be a bit pissed at the moment, but that's life. It's the Tasman. And right the way back along here, I'll get rid of the leaderboard for the moment. We've got Explorer trundling along the great breeze, following westerly there, 8.4 knots, 187 mile day. They'll be happy with that. 3,500 miles to go, and they've got 3.5 weeks to do that to be here on time. So it's looking better and better all the time. But then again, they might park in the Tasman like White Shadow. So Sterner got the similar sort of breeze coming from the southwest, doing 6.5 knots, 148 mile day. Big low pressure underneath them, but that's fine. They're in a perfect position. And in fact, if we just put the grids in there, you can see here's 40th parallel. So both boats very much in the roaring 40s and making good time. 6.5 knots, that's okay. They've probably got some reasonable seas going there. Let's have a look at what the waves are doing, maybe 4 or 5 meters because it's blowing up from the south. Yeah, they're right on the border. This is for 5 to 6 meters here. This is down about 8, 9 meters down here. And, Explorers into the 4s, maybe 5s as well. So all looks okay. We come back and let's see what the wind's going to do now. I'll just come back and watch these systems. What the wind's going to do in the next 2 days, just to see how that's going to roll through. All looks pretty good. There's that little center of the high coming over. We discuss this every time. They need to be a little bit further south after that. I'll send them a message after and say, hey, get down another 1 or 2 degrees. That's through to the 18th. So, yeah, it's getting pretty light there. There's another hole coming up as well. So, oh boy, they need to be down quite a lot. So, anyway, we'll follow that and I'll tell them to head south, I think. But looking good. No big storms, no big dramas. So, all is good. Coming across the other side, pick this up a bit and get rid of these guys. So, White Shadow, yeah, they're parked. 1.3 knots. Distance to the finish, 814 miles to go, distance to go, and they did 141 mile day, so that's not too bad. And we'll come back to look at their weather in a sec. Okay, so we got Galliana with Secure, 7.7 knots. They're happy with that. Everything's up, obviously, 153 mile day, 316 miles to go. And Outlaw, they'd be talking on VHF for sure right now. Call him up, 8 knots. And 156 mile day as well. So is that right? Both 153 and a 156. So yeah, side by side. So they'll be enjoying that. Evrika, 7 knots, 116 mile day. So it's been a bit quiet for them. And they've got 222 miles to go. It's going to be busy days ahead for us. Neptune, 171-mile day. So that's cool. Hopefully they'll be in by tomorrow afternoon. But they're only doing 4.8 knots. Could go quiet, so it could be another late night tomorrow. The Neptune getting in just before it gets dark, and Evrika coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning again. So all part of the fun. So that's enough for there. Before we go into Triana, we'll look at what's going to happen with the weather over the next couple of days. You can see here there's a big hole right over where Triana is, and it's pretty light everywhere else. So this is where it gets tricky for everyone. Breeze is looking for Neptune and Evrika looking okay. Same for Outlaw. It's not bad, but you can see this big wind shadow, big holes all the way across the top of New Zealand. It's going to heat up probably by the look of it. Anyway, at least White Shadow's got a breeze. So this is on day 1, and then day 2. Ooh, White Shadow's going to park again. Oh, and I think Outlaw and Galliana, they're going to get around, but not a lot of breeze, but just enough breeze to keep moving. So a bit hard to try and call an ETA for these guys, but it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, let's just look at what's happening here with Triana. There's a real race for her with the winds, because it's potentially in the early hours of tomorrow morning. There's no wind in the harbour. We're talking 3, 4, 5 knots. So they need to get down here in a hurry. Otherwise, we'll be sitting around, because when it's like that, you don't know whether they're going to get here in 5 hours or whether they're going to get here in an hour and a half. You get these local puffs. So right now, 7:45. So that's, just a few minutes ago. They were still doing 7 knots, and they've only got 21 miles to go. So it's 3 hours. So it's now coming up to 9 o'clock. So it's looking more and more like midnight if they can hold the breeze. And so what you can see here is they're actually making the course. That's the main thing. The breeze is not a sou'wester. It's basically a west sou'westerly breeze. They're holding it on starboard tack, and you can see here they're doing what L'Esprit de Keep did. That's why she got him reasonably early on her predictions. They're not having to put in this tack like what they do when there's a sou'wester. So she should just go straight down, drag race to what's called North Head, which is right here. And if I come back one, just to confirm, I can measure that off. There she is now on the bow. To get to North Head, which is then turning into the harbour, there's about 20 miles. So about 3 hours. So there's midnight, and then she's got to go up the harbour. Okay, so and it's only about 3 miles up the harbour. But the trick is, and I don't know whether this will show it, but I'm going to try anyway and show you what's happening with the breeze, because I'm watching it on windy. It's a lot easier to see this on windy. No, once we go that shallow, we lose the wind completely. So if I try and put that back, we got it. Anyway. If I then push through this, you can see it's just starting to get, you can't pick it, but this dark blue coming up is no wind, right? We're talking 4 or 5 knots. And when you're going to windward 4 or 5, it could drag out. But it's looking very much like it's going to be around about midnight tonight. So we've got to get out of here and go and get some food and have a bit of a rest and follow up on everything before we start. But I'd be very happy and super excited if they get in at midnight, because then we can still expect some sleep after that. As for Triana and L'Esprit de Keep, they'll both be parked on the customs berth. L'Esprit de Keep's down there as we speak. No one can touch them. They can't give them fresh fruit or fresh food or anything like that. It's all quarantined, and customs won't be down until 7:30 in the morning. And at that time, then we can basically get access to them. So at 7:30, it'll take an hour each boat to get them through the system, and then at that point we can move them over onto the normal marina, and then we can access them and we can give them the champagne and interview them and so on. So unless they do what happened to Spirit of Helsinki and Penjuik when they got together, stuck on the conti berth. Monumental party took place and no one wanted to get up in the morning. In fact, it was really funny. When customers were going down trying to work out the passports to the people, they had to go down, sneak up and lift up their sleeping bags so they can look in and look at the faces. Yeah, that's that one. And find the other one. It was a big party, I tell you. Anyway, so it's really quite cool. Anyway, just have a quick look here at the anyway, as I can already see one that's making me laugh. Hi, we did great to see Don. Happy boats pulling in safe again. Yeah, all good. Hi, Mark, giant ore. Kelly Strickland, Mark Slats, giant ore would have come in handy for him. Yep, too true. Hey, folks, when you're going to fix Maiden's entry in the tracker, as you see provisional places on the IRC rather than just watch them descend the leaderboard as the other boats come in, surely it can't be that hard to tag them to finish. Are you outstanding penalties or are there? It seems like the tracker is an important part of the communication system for around the world yacht race, so it's a bit off that it can't be trusted. It can be trusted, but there's some things that we've got to catch up with. We don't use the tracker for finish times. That's done by a human in the box. And when we get that, there's a time difference with the guys in England. We give them the time. They change it on that bit. And then there's still occasionally bits and pieces. So don't worry about the tracker. We'll give you all the leaderboard bits as soon as we can when we get organised. But at the moment, there's only a couple of us here in the office. The others have gone to have a well-earned rest and just follow the rankings. And the IRC is a whole complication itself. We don't get involved with trying to calculate that ourselves. The program is there with Yellowbrick, and they do the best they can too. So stand by, and we'll get onto it as quick as we can. So it's not a drama. You can trust it when they're sailing across the ocean, but even then we get glitches. So, but we don't have our own super duper 118,000. Custom software program for OGR. What is the tide doing going in and out? But I couldn't tell you at the moment. I haven't had a look. But yeah, it's relevant because it runs at about 2 knots in the center of the harbour there when it's going. And I'll try and find out. So when we go out to meet Triana, we can tell you what's going on in case there's super light winds. Proper whitbread party. It sure was, Katie. Anyway, all right, we're done. High tide at 23:30. Okay, thanks, Julie. That was really good timing. So if it's high tide at 22:30, it's going to be going out. So they're going to have it on the nose, but it'll be very slow because it's not, it's like a loop like that. It's not just dunk dunk. So they could be all right. We're all hoping they get in because we don't want to sit around and wait when they're drifting at 2 knots. Cool. All right, that's it. So I'm going to bugger off, as they say in the classics, and we'll be back here with a live for Triana in a few hours. So stay tuned.